one more praised and put on a pedestal than a black man or woman who knows how to talk. But as a trained financial planner, having the ability to speak well means absolutely nothing to an investment opportunity. It means nothing. So for me, your spider senses should go up to 10. If the person is just talking real well, all they're giving you is a lot of words, a lot of emotion, but they're never getting into the actual numbers. They're not breaking down how the money actually works, how the investment works.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode here on the channel, man. I haven't done a collaboration like this in quite a long time, but I got my man, drum roll, please. Pocket Watching with JT, Real Account Reaction Editor. Give him a round of applause. And brother, go ahead and tell him about yourself, family.
Yes, sir. I am Pocket Watching with JT. I have a smaller YouTube channel that has been blessed by my brother O'Shea Duke Jackson to grow over the few months that he interviewed me from 1,000 subscribers to very nearly 25,000 subscribers. And what I do on Pocket Watching with JT, I react to different business and finance related videos, mostly centered in the Black community. And I give my raw, unfiltered reaction to the information that's out there. And I tell you right now, a lot of information that's on the internet related to finance, how you can come up, hustle culture stuff, a lot of it's BS. And on Pocket Watching with JT, I give you the real deal on how you can actually build wealth. I give you the real information of if this is real or if it's not, because at the end of the day, I am a pocket watcher. I am a licensed financial advisor. I'm licensed both in tax and financial planning. So even though I'm not giving you personalized financial information, I am giving you my raw reaction on Pocket Watching with JT.
All right, guys, and hopefully we can get him to 25,000 subscribers. Go to the first comment pinned to the top, subscribe, hit the bell, and let me know that you have subscribed to help our brother Pocket Watching. He has a very unique skill set here in the Black YouTube community. I don't think nobody does what he does. There's a really strong competitive advantage in that. Brother Pocket Watching, man, I've been missing you back and forth, been on emails and things like that. But you brought me, you always bring me something real good, man. What are we talking about today?
Now, we are talking about scams in the Black community. Here's the issue, O'Shea. For some reason, when it comes to scamming in the Black community, we take the culture of no snitching way too far. Now, I'm not a hood dude, never been a hood dude. I understand the life, I understand the culture. Some of my very early clients were in that life. I understand the concept of no snitching. But no snitching, to my understanding, no snitching is for the people who actually live that criminal style lifestyle. It's not for civilians, right? And when I'm talking about scams in the Black community, it's some weird thing where when you get scammed by somebody, you just try to dust yourself off and keep it moving. You're not willing to tell everybody, hey man, that thing that I was doing about a month ago, I lost like $20,000, $15,000, like even if it's $2,000, you let people know, hey man, this is a scam. And on my channel, I expose things like that, and I'm just surprised. I really shouldn't be surprised, but it is shocking that so many people will admit, yeah, what so-and-so did or is doing is a scam, but why are you knocking his hustle? That's
say it again. That's interesting. That's true, but say it again.
It's crazy. People will actually come in my comments on my videos and say, yeah, we understand what he's doing is a scam. You explained and broke everything down. Yeah, but why are you hating on him? It's like, how is that hating on someone when you're trying to warn the community that I'm a part of, right? I'm a part of this community. I'm trying to warn people, hey, don't fall for this. This is what's really going on. Take a look at this. And it's not that anyone ever comes in my comments and say, hey, you got this wrong or you got that wrong. They never say that. The biggest complaint that I get is, stop hating. Why you hating on another man's hustle? Think about what they're saying, O'Shea. I'm hating on another man's hustle. Well, if it's a hustle, there's a victim. The victim is the Black community. I'm trying to warn the Black community from becoming another victim. And the response that I'm getting from some people, and it's not the majority, it's a minority of people, but they're the loudest, right? The squeaky wheel is the one that gets the grease, right? Most of the people who hear what I say, they like my comments and stuff like that, they like the content, but the few who will get upset by the content, those are the ones that send, they'll make like 10 or 20 posts. Like, I've never hated something so much and spent so much energy behind trying to, tell the person I don't like it. Like, that's the thing. They have a love-hate relationship. That's the thing with trolls. Trolls can be the biggest push for your content because of how many times they gotta watch your video to comment on it, how many comments that they make down there. They're really helping with the YouTube algorithm. Right. They don't even realize that they're a troll, but at the same time, they're some of your biggest supporters in pushing your content forward. But that's why I'm giving it attention today, just to let them know, hey, listen, fellas, I know you have your mindset completely flipped backwards, right? I'm not the guy that's hurting you. I'm trying to keep you from falling for the same traps. Right. And the only response they can say is, well, most of your videos on Black people. What does it matter? Right. I'm trying to help you out.
Let me ask you this before we get into the actual breadth of the content. I know that you have some really good videos in the last month that have garnered a lot of views. But who are some of the more popular people that you've talked about that are that you would say are involved in some sort of Ponzi schemes or scams that are hurting the Black community? Just to name a few.
Man, it's tough, right? Because the bigger the name person, the more that they would be on that borderline of being what you can call criminal or just unethical, right? So I'm going to shift the conversation and say, who are doing things that, to me, I can point out and say are unethical? Because if they're straight up criminal, we're having a totally different conversation. So I'm going to focus on the videos that I've recently done that got a lot of views based on people who are doing things that are extremely unethical. And I would say the Umar Johnson video, and I guess I should say doctor, even though there's a lot of people who are questioning that, I'm going to stay neutral and say Dr. Umar Johnson and his whole school fundraising practices. So what I was able to do just by chance, I planned to do a video on his fundraising for his school. And just by chance, when I researched the information, I happened to get a hold of the most recent tax filing. Now, for people who have no idea what I'm talking about, so Dr. Umar Johnson, he is what I'm told is a licensed school psychologist, and he has been fundraising for a all-Black boarding school on the East Coast. And he's been fundraising for years. And in that time, he has a lot of issues with transparency as far as how much money's been raised, where's the money been going, how's the money been spent. And throughout that whole time, he has never presented any type of financial report, be it to supporters or just to the general public. There's never been any type of public financial report. And I just so happened to finally get a hold of the only financial report that he's given to the Internal Revenue Service. So try not to be boring, but when you are a nonprofit organization, even though you do not have to pay tax, you still have an obligation to provide some level of financial information to the IRS, just to make sure, hey, you're doing what you said you were going to do, and you get to keep your nonprofit status. The issue is his first 3 to 4 years of fundraising, he never filed a report with the IRS. So the IRS technically took his nonprofit status away from him. They just took it because he didn't give them any information. So his nonprofit status was revoked. So
Wow.
as an accountant, I have represented people before the IRS so many times it's ridiculous. And I've represented nonprofit organizations. I had to, actually fight for them to get their nonprofit status back. So I know the steps you have to take to get your nonprofit status reapplied for. And Umar didn't do none of the stuff, right? Umar did not do what you were supposed to do to become to get reinstated, right?
Right.
So what Umar did, instead of doing what he had to do, which would have been going back to all your records and provide all that back information that you should have did in the first place, basically. That's what you have to do to get reinstated. Umar didn't do that. Umar said, forget it. I'm just going to create a brand new organization with a name that's super similar to the first one. And then I'm just going to apply for a brand new nonprofit status. And that's what he eventually did. And this past year in 2020 or 2019, he had to give them a report, or that new organization would have got yanked. And somehow, some way, even though there's a lot of people online that has been reporting on this Umar story, the Pocket Watcher just was the first person that actually got my hands on the tax return. And man, brother, let me tell you something. This tax return was littered with so many errors based on his public statements. And I show you in this video, I show you all the public statements that he's made concerning his fundraising efforts for the school. And then I show you what he reported on the tax return. And I'm telling you, it's night and day. So it's easy to show someone's being lied to. The question is who? Is he lying to the public based on his public statements? Or is he lying to the federal government based on his tax return? I leave it up to the audience to try to figure out who he's lying to. But it's clear both things can't be true at the same time.
Right. Okay. Let's get into the breadth of how you can detect. We have a Black male audience over here in the manosphere. How are some of the ways we can detect these Black community scams?
Man, okay. This might step on some toes, but here's the issue. I know in the Black community, we love a good speaker.
What do you mean by that?
There's nothing more. There's nothing more praised and put on a pedestal than a Black man or woman who knows how to talk. But as a trained financial planner, having the ability to speak well means absolutely nothing to an investment opportunity. It means nothing. So for me, your spider senses should go up to 10. If the person is just talking real well, all they're giving you is a lot of words, a lot of emotion, but they're never getting into the actual numbers. They're not breaking down how the money actually works, how the investment works. What are you selling? Is it a product or is it a service? What type of rate of return are we getting back? And when it comes to a lot of the people who I cover on my channel, a lot of these schemes and scams and organizations, that's the number one thing. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of rah-rah. There's a lot of hotep pimping going on when it comes to these investments. If someone is trying to reach you based on what we would refer to in the financial world as affinity, it's really affinity fraud. They're trying to pull you into this investment based on their personal relationship with you. It's all about, be one. It's all about, do this because it's a Black thing. Hey, because it's a Black thing should be a bonus, but the foundation of any investment has to be the number. So my number one tip when it comes to trying to vet any type of financial opportunity that you may see online or maybe even in person, always ask them about the number and grill them on the numbers and ask them, how does this make sense? And one of the kryptonite to most of these scammers, ask them about their credentials, people. I think that there is some kind of anti-intellectual, anti-credential sentiment in what I'm told it's called the conscious community, right? This is supposed to be the conscious community, but at the same time, they have this anti-school, anti-credential theme that's going on, which I don't understand. How are you conscious, right? You're supposed to be aware, awoke. You're supposed to be, have some sort of perception of reality. But at the same time, you look at people who went to school, or you look at higher learning institutions as the white man's thing, right? And that's one of the issues. So my number 2 tip would be, ask them, what qualifies you to be bringing me this investment opportunity? What type of background do you have? What type of history do you have? What type of education do you have? It is the investment opportunity that you're offering me. Are you required to be licensed to do that? Because I can tell you right now, a majority of the investments in this world that's going to be offered to you is going to be some kind of security. And within the United States, securities is an industry where you have to be licensed to even sell a person a security. So that's another big thing. Just ask them, what qualifies you to do this? What type of history do you have? Education do you have? Are you licensed to do this? What's going on? And I'm telling you, these are the things. This will be like a wooden dagger for a vampire in the movies. They will repel. They will get upset at you. They will attack you if you ask them for qualifications.
Okay, that's a good one. What about the number 3, the third one?
Man, the third one's really going to come down to asking them to do the math.
Okay.
A person who speaks well, it's rare to have someone who speaks well and they're good with numbers. It's rare, right? Because it takes a different type of skill set to be a good speaker and also be good with numbers. Ask them not to just talk. Ask them, show me the numbers. Show me how, because if they're trying to sell you an investment, they're going to try to sell you and tell you how much money you can make. Okay, show me the numbers, right? Put it on paper, right? These hustlers, they love to pull up the whiteboard, right? They love to come out with the whiteboard and start drawing and doing all of this. No. Show me the numbers. Then after they show you the numbers, ask them, what's the rate of return it's going to require for that, right? So just for an example, if someone tells you you can invest into this opportunity with $100 or $1,000, and the potential you can make, $100,000, $50,000. Ask them, do you know what percentage rate of return that is? Do the math for me. What's the rate of return? And if I think most of them, somewhere around 75% or more, wouldn't even be able to do the math to tell you what type of rate of return that is. And for the other maybe 25% who may be able to know how to do the math to tell you what type of percentage return that is, if the rate of return is over like 12%, then if the rate of return is over 12%, that's astronomical numbers, right? If you just put your money into an index fund, you would be extremely excited if you just put your money into an index fund for the S&P 500. If you look at some of the numbers, and I've done the numbers, sometimes the rate of return that they promise are in the multiple of hundreds percent. Just think about this.
Right.
Why are they coming to you? If they can return your money with 200%, 300%, they wouldn't come to you for your $1,000 or even your $10,000. Right. They would go to big institutions, deep pocket billionaires, and just deal with them. I mean, just think about this. Why are they coming to you with an opportunity where you can 10x your money when all the money you got is $1,000 or $20,000, even $100,000? I just want people to understand how the financial industry works.
Right.
I have colleagues, people in my industry, who will not sit down and have a meeting with you unless you have over $10 million to invest with them.
That's true.
And they are only giving you are giving you an option, or presenting to them that they may be able to get them anywhere between 8 and 12% return on their money. So if they've got a threshold where they won't even sit down and talk to you unless you have $10 million.
Right.
And the most that they're promising them is market rate returns.
Right.
Why would someone be able to give you multiple hundreds of percent returns and all you got is a couple $100?
A couple $100, $1,000, $2,000,
right.
Maybe 5 or 10 at the most.
Right. Even if you had $100,000, you would not be worth their time.
Right.
They would go to billionaires. So that doesn't pass the smell test. Right. They can't ask them to work the numbers. What's the percentage rate of return? Most of them either won't be able to do the math or they definitely won't be able to justify the number that they give.
That's some dynamite information. Do we have a number 4?
Man, number 4. Now I'm really going off the top of my head.
Go ahead.
Here's an issue with number 4. If it's a multi-level marketing company.
Uh-oh. Preach.
Let me tell y'all something, people. I have been doing this for a long time. And I have had clients who have been a part of every single multi-level marketing company you can think of. I don't care what it is. If you can name it, I've had a client who's been in it. And I can tell you right now, none of them have ever made any money in that multi-level marketing company. But let me qualify the statement. None of them have ever made money in the multi-level marketing company by selling the product.
Hello, say it again.
Right.
Say it again.
None of them. All the clients that I've ever had who have ever been a part of a multi-level marketing company, none of them have ever made any money selling the product or selling the service. The very few who have actually made money, they made money by recruiting other people into the scam. That is it.
Right.
So if it has a multi-level marketing component to whatever the investment is, you're going to be an IBO, an independent business owner. The second I hear that, I'll be like, that's multi-level marketing talk. Let me tell you, I've been to school, right? I've got a degree in accounting, Howard School of Business, financial planning program graduate. Let me tell you something. We've never used the term IBO. Right. IBO is a term, even though I understand, independent business owner. Yeah. Let me tell you something. That's not something that has ever been in any of these textbooks over here. None of these books does it say IBO, right? You're a sole practitioner, a sole proprietor, a partnership, all these other things. None of them say IBO. So when I start to hear the language of a multi-level marketer, I already know it's BS. So when you hear stuff like that, when someone tries to tell you, man, you know what's the real pyramid scheme? Your job's the pyramid scheme. You got the CEO on top, then you got the regional managers, then you got the local managers, then there's you. Your job's the real pyramid scheme. Listen, dummy, that's not what the definition of a pyramid scheme is. It's not the corporate structure, right? With any organization, there's going to be people on the top are going to be fewer than the people on the bottom. I don't care what you're a part of. The Boy Scouts, Walmart, there's always going to be fewer people on top than there is on the bottom. That's not what makes a pyramid scheme. What makes a pyramid scheme is what's referred to as pyramid selling. You have to recruit. You have to continue to get 5 people, and they then get 5 people, and they then get 5 people. That's what a pyramid scheme is. And we have to confront this BS, man, because I'm doing a series now where I go back in time. I jump in my 85 DeLorean and I go back in time and I just review failed pyramid schemes of the past. So you have a bunch of different companies that have popped up in the Black community all the way from like the mid 60s all the way up to today. These companies pop up, they present themselves as the savior for Black people, for their financial situation, and then they go away. And then another generation comes who maybe they don't remember the old scam, and now there's this new thing. And it keeps going on and on. It's a cycle. It's a never-ending cycle. And I'm here to say we have to stop this thing. We already know that multi-level marketing doesn't work. And the reason why we know it doesn't work is for All these years and years, these multi-level marketing companies have popped up in our community and we rallied behind them. We're still in the same condition. So maybe it's not the savior that it presents itself to be. I mean, I'm just using basic logic.
And they always go out of business.
Oh, they always, because the pyramid can't keep going.
Right.
You can't recruit the world into your pyramid scheme. You're going to run out of people. The math by itself just doesn't work out.
Right. Right.
It's
this has been an awesome one. Is there any other ones you want to talk about, or you want to just?
There's multi-level marketing, and that side of it I hate. But then there's also the blessing looms. So the blessing looms, that's a straight pyramid. There's no selling of a product. There's no selling of a service. When it comes to a blessing loom, what they try to present it as, what the West African cultures and cultures of the Caribbean would refer to as a susu. So a susu is basically a investment club for family members or friends. And what would happen in a susu is, let's say me, O'Shea, one other person, we create a susu. And this susu, what we do is we put in $100 every month. And each month, one of us take the whole $300. Then the next month, we put in $100 and someone else takes that money. It's an investment club, meaning each month I'm going to get an extra $200 that I normally would not have. And what I do with that money is really up to me, but most productive susus, they invest it either in themselves, be it through education. Let's say I want to become a realtor, right? I want to get my real estate license. So I know every other month I'm going to have an extra $200 that I can put towards my career goal of becoming a licensed real estate agent. Maybe your thing is something different. Maybe you just really want to invest in maybe real estate and you need help with your down payment. So you're going to use your extra little money every other month when you get the money. That's how a real susu works. It's a closed circle. You're not recruiting. You're not recruiting new people in. It's just it's a closed circle. Now here's the issue. There's people who are calling these blessing looms a susu when it's really just another pyramid scheme. The only way that you can come in and move up to the next rank so that you can get your cash out is if you bring in two people and they bring in two people. It's the same thing, but it's a pyramid scheme. But instead of the multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, multi-level marketing pyramid schemes are set up like a business. You're a business owner. With these blessing looms, that's a pyramid scheme, but that's set up as like a charitable thing. It's just people helping people. But at the end of the day, it's still just a pyramid selling scheme with a non-profit label on top, but people still end up broke because there's never enough money to pay out the last person that comes to the party. And it's really not just the last person, it's the last persons plural, because the majority of the people will never actually get the payout. They never.
Right, well, brother. This has been a good one. Any other information that you want to say? I'll talk about your channel.
Man, I've been blessed to be able to get a lot of insider information on some different companies, some different peoples, some big names that many of you probably heard of. And coming up, I have a lot of different video ideas and videos planned to expose. Once again, I'm exposing either scammy behavior, unethical behavior, but most importantly, bad financial advice that's out there in the community. And with Pocket Watching with JT, you are going to get my real reaction to a lot of the BS that's out there. Now, there are a lot of people who are asking for financial advice. I want to be extremely clear here. Pocket Watching with JT, this YouTube channel, is where I give you my raw reaction, and it's going to be based on reviews of videos and reaction to videos. But if you want financial advice, you got to go to pocketwatcher.net. Pocketwatcher.net, you can click the button and you can actually book an online consultation where we can have a one-on-one and we can go over your personal financial situation. So Pocket Watching with JT, that is financial education through entertainment on YouTube. And if you want real financial advice, you gotta book an appointment at pocketwatcher.net.
All right, we'll put that information on the screen here, and make sure y'all bring your credit cards, man. Anybody got time to talk to y'all for free. The man is running the business. Your brother Pocket watching, I definitely thank you, man. You always bring the heat on this one. I'm pretty sure it's gonna do really good. Any last words, man?
Now, outside of just saying thank you and bowing down to my brother, man, O'Shea, you have no idea what you mean to this space in YouTube, man. You are absolutely a founding father of this Black manosphere. Like I said before, when you picked me out of a bunch of people out here that you could put on your platform, I had about 1,000 subscribers. I sit before you today on the edge of 25,000 subscribers, and it's only been a couple of months. I just want to say, brother, we appreciate what you mean to this space. Please continue to do it. And I know you do it from a space of real love for the community, because you ain't got to do this. You ain't got to have me on here. I mean, the stuff that I talk about, honestly, I mean, I'm getting some views, but there's a bunch of different crazy topics that you could have that would get you way more views than a financial advisor on YouTube. You're doing this out of the fact that you love and have love for the community in this space. So, brother, that's what I want to leave you with, man. Thank you. I'm sincerely from my heart. Thank you.
I appreciate you. But I want to say this and give you your flowers, man. You know, a lot of us, when we first started over here, we didn't have a lot of guys like the lead attorney and guys like you who are actually really good competitive advantage skills. So I want to thank you, because I know that you have your own wife and family, stuff like that, and come on here. But you're really talented. You're a really talented man, and you have a really good gift for what you do. And a lot of brothers on here really, really appreciate you, and I do too. Well, when I first saw your name, I was like, "Who the hell is this nigga?" Probably watching with JT. So I clicked on. I said, "Okay." So it's good to have a brother that because so many of us, man, a lot of Black men are dying, broke, no money on the retirement. We'd love to get you in the Hall of Game one day. So thank you for what you do, brother. That's all, because you're a representation of there are Black men out there that are doing this. That are family men, that have really good skills, that have went to college, and that have things that they can contribute back to the Black community. So I appreciate you as much as you appreciate me. And I thank you for spending your time to come on. I know you've been blowing up. Now don't get too light-skinned on me now, because you're gonna pass me the way you're going.
Never that. Never.
I done have some people. I didn't, say, yeah, man, I'll see what's up. Like, what you mean you gonna see what's up? Yeah, I ain't gonna call his name, but yeah, no, and it's not. It's not no damn Kevin Samuels. You talking about no Kevin Samuels? He still call me every day, damn near. But I'm talking about somebody else. But anyways, man, thank you so much, brother. Make sure you guys go to the first comment pinned to the top. Subscribe to brother Pocket Watcher JT. He has a really good channel. There's nobody on here that does what he does, man. He has a really strong competitive advantage in the information he's delivering. So guys, thank you so much. And as you know, keep it real. We out. Peace.